Welcome back for another segment of Megan and the Mayor, the first one of 2022. Can hardly believe it, but Mayor, thank you as always for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with me today.
Well, thank you for the invitation, Megan. It's a pleasure.
Yes, and you know, a lot of hope with the new year for a lot of folks. It's always a time for fresh beginnings, but there was some concerning news for our community this week, and that's the COVID-19 risk dial moving back into the red category. It's somewhere we haven't been in nearly a year, basically. Can you talk about the numbers that we're seeing right now that contributed to this decision, and just your message maybe of caution for folks in a time where the spread is such at a high risk?
Yes, that's right. So we're in the red on the risk dial, and what that really signals to our community is the need for some caution that really when you're out and about in public places, if it's crowded, we really do recommend masking up and watching your distance. If you're in indoor public places, recommend strongly that you mask up to help stop the spread. The good news is that a year ago when we were in the red, we didn't have vaccines. At this point, we do. So we have the tools to help fight COVID-19. And as more and more people are getting vaccinated, and we are urging people to get their boosters if they haven't already received them, and as more children now are eligible for both vaccines and likely boosters, we have the ability to have power over this virus and to beat it back, and that's what we need everyone to do. This is a job for everyone in Lincoln and Lancaster County, and of course across our state and country. We need to work together, get vaccinated to prevent the spread and prevent the severe outcomes of the disease. Omicron is highly transmissible, and we want to keep as many people out of the hospital as possible. We know that the people in our hospitals, by and large, are the unvaccinated. So we urge all of those folks to read more, talk to their doctors, read more about the latest news about the vaccines and the treatments that are emerging so that they can stay safe and stay out of the hospitals.
Yes, and some of those numbers that we saw too, we saw our positivity rate jump to 16.7%, and in just about a week, we saw our average daily cases jump from 128 to 218. Now, when you're speaking with our local health officials weekly, I'm assuming, or even daily on those numbers, was it surprising at all how much we jumped? I mean, folks were getting together for the holidays, and we know that Omicron is more transmissible, but was there any surprise with any of the health officials or the city offices over the big jump that we did see?
Well, no one liked seeing that we had over 500 cases yesterday. I wouldn't say it's a huge surprise because of the transmissibility of Omicron and because of the holidays. I think with people getting together, families and gathering, we knew that this was a likely outcome of the time that we've just spent celebrating and being together. But that doesn't mean that people should not heed the advice of the public health officials. And really, this is a time to be cautious. This is a time to help our kids stay in school, help our businesses stay safe for their customers and their employees, and to help us get back to life as we remember and cherish it. And so, you know, you are seeing the university have a mask requirement for athletic events and big, events. You are seeing our schools continue to keep masks. It's because we all know what we need to do, and people are taking steps to do it, and that's exactly what we need to see across our community.
And speaking of those mask requirements, and I know that we have the vaccine now, but is there any chance with us being back in that red that there could be a mask mandate come back for Lancaster County, or any component of a directed health measure like the limited capacity at certain places and venues?
Well, we are definitely keeping an eye on all the indicators that we have been analyzing throughout the pandemic. And that hospital capacity indicator is especially important. And so if we see access to care being further threatened, then absolutely there are opportunities for additional steps to be taken. And the health team is constantly evaluating whether or not measures need to be reintroduced. And that's why we're asking everyone to help us avoid that, help us avoid having to reintroduce measures, help us protect access to care in our hospitals. And the best way to do that is to get vaccinated and to get boosted and to mask up when you're in indoor public places. And, we'll get through this surge together and more safely if more people do that.
And 2021, it was another hard year for many folks. But there are always bright spots. So when you're looking back to the year of 2021, what are some moments that you are most proud of for the city, or ones that are most memorable for you, maybe like your top 3 highlights?
Well, I mean, the miracle of the vaccine. That is truly an amazing, we are the first humans in the history of humanity who've lived through a plague and had basically a cure in their lifetime. And so those first clinics, seeing some of our oldest, most vulnerable residents gently walk up to the arena and roll up their sleeves and get vaccinated. I remember the moment my mother got her vaccine, knowing that the people we love most are getting more protected. That's just a huge highlight for 2021. And then, I'm proud of all the work of the city team to continue to provide services to our community, emergency response, and really the work that we've done to advance climate action so that we are protecting our community against severe weather events, making sure that we're resilient and strong going into the future, and thinking about our kids and our kids' kids. So passing the climate action plan and starting to implement those strategies to harden our infrastructure and to have a more climate smart future. It's another great accomplishment from 2021. And we've done a lot of work to increase and advance affordable housing in our community. And that's taken people all across our community, our private sector, philanthropic partners, the city team. And so really, really proud of the work we've done to create more affordable housing, to set up the infrastructure in terms of financial resources available for people who are creating affordable housing or who want to be able to get loans and secure homes for their future. So a lot of really good work that happened in 2021 despite it all.
Yeah, to me, the common component out of all 3 of those were a lot of people, a lot of departments coming together to make those things possible. So those are wonderful things to be proud of, in my opinion. So
Really, those are solutions that stick, and really proud of the way we partner to get things done in Lincoln.
And now looking ahead to 2022, I'm sure you have some priorities, some things you're looking forward to. What would you say are your top priorities of this year?
Well, again, public safety is our top priority. So whether that's making sure that we're protecting public health and the safety of our community, or investing in the tools that our first responders need to both protect the public and themselves as they protect the public, that's going to be a top priority. We'll be rolling out a new biennial budget in June, so we're gathering together proposals, looking at the resources we have available. I'm really excited about the deployment of American Rescue Plan funds. We are very focused on our community's economic recovery and renewal. We're going to be putting out grants to help create and strengthen our tourist attractions and events here in town. We have a ton of investment in workforce development because we know how important that is to our economy and to people's ability to take care of themselves and their families. And we're already starting to distribute funds to small businesses to help them be stabilized. That is going to be a huge focus for this upcoming year.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it there, the American Rescue Plan. Now there is some talks of some of those dollars going to the Lincoln Airport here. And I know it's not a set amount, but I've heard about 1.5 million kind of tossed around. Could you speak on that a little bit?
Sure. Well, the airport is so important to our community, and it is another huge economic driver for Lincoln. So we all know how important it is. And we are in discussions about resources for the airport. We're really looking for long-term solutions. We've been in discussions with the airport and others really ever since before I was even mayor, but from the moment I stepped into this role, what they really need is a change in state statute so that they can utilize their resources to attract and retain airlines. But barring that long-term solution being available, we're in discussions to see what role that we could play. So, yes.
And do you know when it would be voted on or possibly approved or denied for that money to be going to the airport?
Well, right now we have a plan that we've rolled out to the public. We've announced those workforce development competitive grants, the dollars for small businesses, and also for tourism and attraction and events. So we are working through those commitments that we've made public, that we will be making public, that we've made available to the public. And once we know, what resources we still have to work with, we'll be in a better position to judge, what is possible. And we're in conversation with the council about that now that they have expressed this priority recently.
Wonderful. And one last thing to touch on today, of course, we are in January, right in the heart of winter, and we haven't seen a lot of snowfall yet. We've gotten a little bit finally, but nothing major yet. But the little bit of snowfall that we have seen, how do you feel the city responded to that?
Oh, I'm really proud of our city team. The folks at Lincoln Transportation and Utilities have been really focused on new innovative approaches and partnerships to have our emergency snow response just quicker and more effective. And we saw that last year with a historic snowfall. So we are continuing to make our preparations for any snowmageddon that may be down the line, and we hope that won't come. But if it does, we have tools and partners in place to get the job done, and I'm really proud of their work.
Yes, that was quite the day in January of last year. That's one I won't forget. But and then also, of course, with the new year and being an even year, the parking ban rules change. Would you like to remind folks of what goes into effect for this year?
One of the new policies has been to simplify the parking ban rules so that it's easier for the public to know what side of the street they can park on during a snow emergency. Because it is the year 2022, an even-numbered year, the ban will apply to the side of the street with even-numbered house addresses. So you want to move to the odd side of the street.
Also, last time when I was here, I kind of asked about the supply chain issues and if they were affecting the city being able to get any kind of winter resources, whether that's salt or the brine ingredients, anything like that. Has anything changed on that front, or have we still been able to get those?
Not that I'm aware of. They did, anticipating the potential for supply chain issues, tried to order early and order in amounts that would be, adequate to being prepared ahead of any snow. We started preparations when it was, 80 degrees out last summer. So we're in good shape right now and pleased with their preparations.
Well, I believe that's all the questions that I have for you, unless there's anything you want to add, anything I didn't touch on.
I think that's great. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here again, and I look forward to next month.
Thanks, Megan.